see the screen, I hope. All right, negative x squared minus 5x plus blank is equal to negative 3 plus blank. Now factor out the negative 1. Did my phone go off? It's Leonhardt. She's Skyping in. Oh, nobody's Skyping in. Okay. All right, so factor out the negative 1, and I'm just going to do that in a different color. That negative 1 comes out, and that leaves you with something here, and negative 1 times that blank, because we factored it out. And that's going to give us negative 1x squared divided by negative 1 is x squared. Negative 5x divided by negative 1 is what?
5x.
5x plus blank. Blank times negative 1 is blank, because blank is technically 0. So,
Wait,
anyway.
would you factor the negative 1 out of the negative 3 also?
No, you never do that.
Okay.
And that goes back to when I said, you remember when I said multiply the negative 1 times this blank and just trust me? Because if I showed you the derivation, it would confuse you even more. Just trust me. Okay?
All right.
All right, so 5 divided by 2. I don't want to do that in a different color because that's completing the square. So 5 divided by 2, because we always take b, divided by 2, square it, is equal to 25 fourths. And that 25 fourths goes in the blanks. 25 fourths.
My teacher's sick.
All right, so negative 1.
Rockwell.
Yeah, he's not here today.
Whose teacher is sick? What teacher is sick?
My teacher. I get to go home and take a nap.
We have
Amy 120, 1.21 or whatever her name is.
No, Debbie 1.4 is not thriving right now. She canceled class for like the 4th time, like this month, and I'm just chilling here like, okay.
You know what would happen if I canceled one class like twice? I would get like the 3rd degree.
Oh, no. She cancels all the time. Her daughter's getting married, so she just doesn't need to come to school. It's just real stressful for her, apparently.
I'm gonna just shut up, Hubert. Negative 25 fourths. I'm gonna start doing some of the stuff these other teachers do, and y'all see I'll be fired in a week.
I go whatever school you went to.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Dang old Piedmont Tech.
Hey, that's where I'm from. I mean, it's in my hometown.
Well, that Greenwood, I ain't never left that town sober. That daggum place is bad.
We have a lot of fun in Greenwood. You either get drunk or get stoned in Greenwood. There ain't much to do.
That's a bad place down there. All right,
Yeah, it is.
so here we go. X
I understand. From
plus 5 halves
Oh, you know what it's like.
is, all right, that's negative 12 fourths minus 25 fourths. And I'm keeping that negative 1 out just to show you. That's the only reason I'm doing that. X plus 5 halves is equal to negative 37 over 4. Now at this point you have your what? Your vertex. So I'm just going to go up here and I'm going to put vertex. And I'm going to take the opposite of negative, or opposite of 5 halves, which is negative 5 halves, comma, and what's the opposite of negative 37 fourths? 37 fourths. And I'm also going to write it in intercept form, just so you'll know. So f of x, how's that, y'all? Is that better? That better? F of x is equal to negative 1 times x plus 5 halves quantity squared plus 37/4. And that is the form that you need to write it in some of your homework questions or some of your test questions. This is supposed to be green. I don't know, it doesn't show up very well. I ain't going to use that green anymore. What is our y-intercept? Our y-intercept is 0,3 because that's where you get that. And now you just need to solve for x. Now, a lot of you may say, oh, well, there's no x-intercepts because negative 37/4 is negative. You can't take the square root of a negative. That's false. What happens when I divide both sides by -1?
You get a positive.
I get a positive. So you got to watch that because sometimes this negative right here, divide by -1, divide by -1 will make the right side a positive. So now we've got x plus 5/2 quantity squared is equal to 37/4. Take it over here. Take the square root of both sides. X plus 5/2 is equal to the square root of 37/2. Now, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to understand that the square root of 37 is 6.1. All right? So please don't type that in on a calculator unless you absolutely positively have to. X plus 5/2, oops, sorry. Nope. X is equal to positive or negative 6.1 minus 5/2. And what's $6.10 minus $5?
$1.10.
And what's half of $1.10?
55 cents.
So that is one x-intercept. And you owe somebody $6.10, you owe somebody $5, you owe $11.10, which is going to be $5.55.
Right.
Now sketch it and see if everything lines up. You've got your y-intercept, you got your vertex, and you got your 2x. Now,
Am I
sketch it.
supposed to sketch 37?
Well, what is 4 into 37? Hang on, 9 and a fourth.
Something like that, I reckon.
Sketch that out and see if, and basically what you're doing is you're seeing if everything lines up.
Thanks.
Well, according to my calculations, everything does add up.
According to your calculations. Yes, sir. All right, let's try it. So we've got 0 and 3. That's the x-intercept, so I'll do it in green. I'm going to do it in a lighter green so y'all can see it.
0 through is the y-intercepts.
What'd you say?
0 through is the y-intercepts, not the x-intercepts.
Oh, is that, did I say x-intercept? Okay, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I suck. All right.
I know.
The vertex, we'll do it in a blue. Vertex, or this lavender, okay, is -5/2 is -2.5. -2.5 is right here, and then positive 9 1/4 will be up here somewhere.
Did you eat dinner?
And 0.55 be right in here. And then -5.5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, what does it look like? It's going which way? It's opening which way? Is that what it's supposed to do? Yes. All right, the domain is all real numbers. The range is -infinity to 9 1/4. Increasing from negative infinity to negative 2.5. Decreasing from negative 2.5 to infinity. That's it. Now that's a rehash of 5, 6. So on a scale from 1 to 10, with 10 being the most challenging problem, you are around a 5 or a 6 right here. So let's move on to a 7 or an 8. 7 or an 8. How about 2x squared minus 3/4 x minus 6 is equal to 0. And I tell you what, I like y'all, so I'm going to do the y-intercept for y'all. The y-intercept is 0, negative 6. There you go. I thought I'd do that much for y'all. Well, the Pendleton campus just went bye-bye. Pendleton, you there? They are not there, Hubert. We need to bring the Pendleton campus back in. Somebody text them right quick and say that I'm trying to get them back on. Somebody text them. Miss Smith, thank you. When did they disappear? Does anybody know?
Nope.
Okay, Easley and Anderson campus, y'all work on this problem. I'll try to get the Pendleton campus back up. Move the 6 and take out the positive 2. So that means you're going to have to divide by 2/1.
You know how to do it because I kind of deleted
I'll
all these things because it like pops up like 10 different messages.
I'll take care of it. and Michael. Now just bear with me a minute. Gotta get this fixed. Michael IT. There they are. There they are.
Oh, I missed you.
Don't know what happened, but
Screen
we
froze.
didn't go any further. We waited for y'all to come back. So there's our problem. Did y'all get this much of the problem? Did y'all get this?
Yeah, we did.
Okay. All right. So 2x squared minus 3/4 x plus blank is equal to 6 plus blank. Now be careful here. If you suck at fractions, then you might want to write down these extra steps. All right, I'm going to factor out a 2 over 1. So that means I'm going to divide this by 2 over 1, and I'm going to divide this by 2 over 1 when I factor. All right, and I'm going to multiply this by 2. So I'm going to put a negative 2, a 2 right here. That means I'm dividing by 2. That's what this is. And that gives me x squared minus. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to say, well, no, I'm not. I'm going to do a scratch sheet of paper. And I'm going to say, okay, 3/4 divided by 2 over 1. And that's multiplied by 1 over 2, which is equal to 3 over what? 3 over 8. So, minus 3/8 x plus blank is equal to 6 plus blank, and I'm going to multiply that 2 times that blank. Now, the reason I did this, like I told you before, the problem that students have here is they just think they've completed the square. No, you haven't completed the square. You've got the problem to where you can complete the square. You still have to complete the square. All right, so you need to write in your notes, for those of you that really suck at fractions and stuff, you need to go out here and say, right from here to here, you need to say factored out common term of 2. And then here you need to go and say complete the square, because we haven't done it yet. What happens on the test is y'all are, time, the clock is ticking, and you go from here and you think you've completed the square, and then you start to try to do completing the square and it doesn't work. Or you do completing the square first and it doesn't work. So don't whine. I just warned you about it. Don't whine if you do it, because I done warned you. 2, and that's going to give me,
Sure, cut it next time.
I'm going to need to take 3, I'm sorry, let me just do this. 3/8 divided by 2, so I'm going to do it in a different color. 2 over 1, and I'm going to what? Square it. So now I'm completing the square. So that's going to give me, I need to text Michael back. Somebody text, no, he's not on.
I don't know, Michael.
No, you don't know Michael.
Actually, me and him are best friends.
He's a good guy.
Got drinks the other day. Michael.
The guy's the IT guy. He always fix it when y'all can't fix it. He fixes it. All right, so here we go. 3/8 multiplied by what? 1/2 and square it. See, this is the stuff that everybody forgets. And that's going to be 3 what? 16ths raised to the second power, which is 9 over 196. Somebody check me.
I got you.
Okay? So, that 196 is the result of completing the square, which goes there and there.
16 squared.
Yeah.
That's 256.
Okay, I'm
Not
sorry.
even close.
I was saying 14 squared. What's 14 squared? I think 14 squared is 196.
Yeah, that's 196.
I'm sorry. What is it? What?
256.
Thank you. 256. There we go. So 9 over 256 and 9 over 256. Okay, and that gives us the following. 2 times x minus, 3 over 16, quantity squared, is equal to 6 plus that 2 and that 256 will cancel. That's 1 what? 128? Somebody check me. It'd be 9 over 128.
Are you sure it's 128, Mr. Hugh?
What's 128 times 2?
8 times 2 is
256, yeah, it's
6, plus
256.
1 would be
Okay.
4, so 5, and
All right.
358.
Now, I'm going to fold this up. We're going to go to the
256.
next page.
That's what he got. Okay.
Since I don't have a Epson board, I have to do it this way. Because it takes 3 semesters to put up an Epson board. Okay.
They don't care about our education. They care about the money.
Yep. They got your money, so they don't care. All right, so here we go. 2
Good with that.
times x minus 3/16
So you get 128.
is equal to, I got to make 128, so 128 times 6. 128 times 6 is 736. Somebody check me. 6 times 128.
768.
768. Okay. 768 over 128 plus 9 over 128. Let me rewrite that. 2 times x minus 3 over 16 squared is equal to 768 over 128 plus 9 over 128. Hopefully I can add 9 to that. It'd be dang old 777. So 2 x minus 3 over 16 quantity squared is equal to 777 over 128. Now you got your vertex. So write your vertex down. And if you want to, go ahead and take your calculator. It's going to be around 7 or 6. Between 6 and 7. Write down this in a decimal form. So 3 over 16, that's almost a quarter. So we know our vertex is 3/16 and negative 777 over 128. And y'all will give me a decimal whenever I need that. And f of x is equal to 2 times x minus 3/16 quantity squared minus 777 over 128. That's your vertex form or your intercept form. And now let's solve. So divide by 2. When you divide by 2 over 1, you multiply by what? 1 over 2. And that's going to give us
777 over 2.
56.
Yeah.
56.
And hopefully some of y'all are recognizing that completing the square, a lot of times there's a lot of repetition of the same numbers.
Yeah.
So 256. And now we take the square root of both sides. And the square root of 256 is, we got that as 16. So x minus 3 over 16 is equal to square root of 777 over 16. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I know the square root of 777 because I don't. So somebody give me a decimal.
It's 27.87.
Okay, I'm just going to say 28 because that's close enough for government work. X is equal to 28 over 16 plus 3, and that's positive or negative. So 28 plus 3 is 31 over 16, which is 2 and 1/16, which is approximately 2. So that's going to be one x-intercept at 2. And then negative 30, let's see, negative 28 plus 3 is negative 25 over 16. And negative 25 over 16 is negative 1 and 6/16, which is 1 1/3. Let's see what happens when we try to line all those up now. And that's approximate. This means approximate, meaning I'm estimating. All right, now plot those points. Our original 0, -6 is our y-intercept. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And our x-intercept is 2, 1, 2, and negative 1 and 1/3. And our vertex, I'm trying to find it, 3/16, which is a quarter. And what does 77 over 128 give us? I don't know if I wrote it down anywhere. What's 77 over 128? It's around 6 or 7.
6.07. So yeah, 6.
So negative 6 would be down, 6.07 would be right in here. So it looks like everything lines up. And now you know that the domain is all real numbers. The range is negative 6.07 to infinity. It's decreasing from negative infinity to 3/16 and increasing from 3/16 to positive infinity. Now that's a 7 or an 8. I'm going to write down a 9 or a 10, and I want you to work on it for homework.
Is there no homework online yet? I haven't checked.
Not yet.
Okay.
After
You
today,
said wait until we get through this, right?
we're going to open up the homework. Negative 1/3 x squared plus 2/3 x minus 3 is equal to 0. Now, half of you will just go ahead and quit now. But some of you might take it as a challenge and work it. You got 24 hours, 48 hours, and then we'll do it in class first thing. Questions? All right, I need everybody to get registered as fast as you can because we need to see what's up with the Polycom class. See if we need to open up another one. So I will see
That'd be
y'all
really nice.
Wednesday. Okay?
We'll
Keep
see you
between the
Friday.
ditches.
Should we go ahead and sign up for the
Friday, yeah,
other
Friday.
130 here at Pendleton?
He said I'll see you.
I'm sorry, what?
Should we go ahead and register for the other 130 here at Pendleton?
You can't.
Yes,
You can't because it's full.
No,
I'm
not
sorry.
the Polycom, the
If
regular
you don't
one.
want to take the Polycom, then take the chances with the other one. Yeah, that's fine.
Well, I want to take the Polycom.
Well, then you need to sign up right now for the Anderson or the Easley campus.
Okay.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah, I
So let's see
understand.
what happens. And we'll talk more about it for Friday when I see y'all Friday.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, see y'all.
See ya.